everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch Captain America Civil War Winter Soldier figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the black box, the Legend Series logo up top, the figure clearly displayed, then you have the Captain America Civil War movie logo and the name of the character down below. Off to the side of the packaging, we have some artwork of the character, and then on the back of the packaging, we have a look at the actual figure and a brief bio in multiple languages. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging along with the other contents. Now this figure is out overseas. You can actually, if you want to buy it overseas, you can buy it from robotkingdom.com. Now when this figure is released here in the United States, and I do expect that to be either later this month or sometime next month, I don't have a specific release date, but when it is released, it will be a Walmart exclusive. Now this figure comes with 2 weapon accessories. We get a pistol, and the paint application on these weapons is basic. It's just black plastic, and then the bottom portion, the handle, is a reddish brown color, so really no paint applications on this. The sculpting detail is not too bad. We've seen these weapons before with other Marvel Legend figures, so it's nothing we haven't seen before. And then you also get a knife, again basic paint applications, black blade, and then the reddish brown for the handle. You do have some decent sculpting with the handle, with the little line work in the handle, and then the blade itself. There's no place to store the weapons on the figure other than have him hold it in his hands. There's no working gun holster or knife sheath, which would have been nice. And honestly, he doesn't hold the weapons very well. You can get the gun in there if you kind of pry it in between the fingers. You can usually get it in there, but the gun's actually a little big and will pop out sometimes. But the gun he definitely holds the best. He does have a trigger finger. The knife he really doesn't hold at all. You can basically kind of sit it in there like that, but the knife is really too small to really fit well in the hands, so the grip on the hands is much bigger than the knife. I think the face sculpt on this figure is pretty good. As Marvel Legend movie figures go, I think this is pretty true to the likeness of the actor. I like the 5 o'clock shadow that they've given him, and then the way the hair is sculpted is pretty good. I like how the hair kind of comes down over near his eye, so I think that looks good. The hair is just almost an all black. There is some brown highlights in it though, so they do have some wash work in there. This is a different head from the one that we got on the Captain America Winter Soldier version, so it's not the same head, and I think this is a much better looking head than the one we got on that previous figure. For the rest of the figure, this is primarily just a reuse of that Winter Soldier figure. The only thing different is this torso section, so the head and the torso section are the only thing really different. The belt piece, he's got a different belt than the one that came with the Winter Soldier, but the legs, the feet, the arms, and the hands are all the same from that Winter Soldier version. Now, paint applications are probably a little better on the Winter Soldier version. However, with things like the arm, I do think the arm looks, the robot arm or machine arm looks better on this Civil War version, especially the star. On my Winter Soldier one, the star was really crooked. This is much straighter on this one. It's got a black outline, and the wash effect I think is a little better on the metallic silver with the black on the arm as well. But it's things like detail here, like the bullets on his right arm are not painted, whereas they were painted on the Winter Soldier version. So things like that were a little more nicely detailed on that previous figure. The torso section, which as I mentioned is different, you've got a sculpted on harness with gun holster, and the gun is sculpted in there, and it's just black with metallic silver. It would have been nice, as I mentioned, if they had given us a working gun holster, but as it is, you know, like I said, this is all we get is that sculpted one. And then on the back, it's just basically black with some like belts sculpted in, but very little paint detail there. Same with the pants. The legs, as I said, are exactly the same, but they're a darker color, and then you've got the same boots with the laces and everything. You want to point out I've got some, looks like paint scraping here on the hair near the forehead where you can see some flesh tone on the actual hair. This figure stands right about 6.5 inches tall. It's the same height as the previous Winter Soldier movie figure. And then here's a comparison with Civil War Captain America and Civil War Iron Man, and you can see Winter Soldier is taller than Cap, but not as tall as Iron Man. And then finally, here's a comparison with Civil War Black Panther and Civil War Falcon, and Winter Soldier is the tallest of the 3. Articulation is the same as we saw with the previous Winter Soldier figure. You can turn the head to the left and to the right. It's on a ball hinge joint, so he can look down a bit. And because of the hair is a fairly hard plastic, he can only look up about that much. He's got a ball hinge joint at the shoulder so he can get his arm out good, and he's got good rotation there. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got a double jointed elbow. He's got swivels at the wrist. He's got hinges on the hands, so he's got some up and down movement there with the hands. He's got an ab crunch joint so he can crunch down good. Does look funny from the back though when you have him crunch down, and then he can look back pretty good as well. He's got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward about that much, and he can do his leg out and back. He's got the thigh swivel, double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. He's got hinges on the feet, so up and down movement with the feet, and then he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. So I would say if you like the previous Winter Soldier figure, then I think you'll like this one as well. I think things like the head sculpt are much better on this one. I think they did a good job of capturing the actor's likeness with it. I like the paint applications on the metal arm a little better, and just overall I like the darker colors. Now some of the paint applications aren't as nice, like not painting the bullets on the right arm, and I think the weapons are a little weak on this figure. But overall, if you've been collecting the Civil War figures, I think this is one you'll want to add to your collection. Now I don't have a specific release date for when we'll see this here in the United States. I'm guessing probably later this month or next month in August. It will be released as a Walmart exclusive along with the Falcon figure. If you're interested, you can purchase it from overseas at places like robotkingdom.com, who do have these figures in stock now. We'll have a full gallery of images up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll also have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.